Previously on Indievelopment.
Let me give you a quick update what's going on right now. We are about 5 weeks before our demo deadline, and we just started discussing or placing bets how many cans of Monster we will have accumulated by then.
It's just something has to go on this list. And no matter what you do, you're going to have that problem that we just saw and what we were looking at there.
This way, we know that the texture maps will lay out very nice and evenly because the squares are about the same size on everything.
We love this drink and we want them to love us.
Oh man.
Well, hopefully you guys can get some.
Oh my god!
Life.
I don't need this anymore.
We've actually started to get a small army of people working on this project because they like the idea so much. You know, we've got Terrence Pang, who's a vehicle designer. He came to us and he wanted to do something cool like this, and he's really into racing games and things like that. So we let him run with all the vehicles, and he's done some fantastic work. We have Byungjuk Kang here, who is he just graduated SVA and was looking for something interesting to do, and he really likes these kind of games, so he came aboard. We liked his attitude.
He was also a paratrooper.
Yeah, he was also he was also a paratrooper in the South Korean Army, which didn't hurt. But no, I mean he's a smart guy. He's a very hard worker and very smart guy. And we're also working with some architects now to help us sort of make our design a little bit less Sid meaty than we've seen a lot of other games do.
So you're gonna have the containers as building blocks. They're gonna be somewhat modular, kind of like a Dell computer that has the same basic box, but then you can exchange a few components here and there. So you do that, very easy to do. Then you have the structure that you dock these things into, and basically they work like pockets. Like you go into a pocket container, you have function in that. You go out of that, you are along a corridor that connects you with all the other different containers. And you're getting cool spaces out of it because you're getting all these corridors that are very easy to manufacture.
Can I ask you something about the modeling of membrane structures? I'm just wondering, is that something that you guys?
Cloth we don't like cloth.
Yeah, cloth is really difficult.
As a matter of fact, something like membrane structure, based on what we researched that time, you actually wouldn't be doing stuff like that as much as you'd be having machines. You'd ship over a bunch of machines that can make a couple of specific types of materials, like glass, for instance, like tempered glass. And then what you do is you have people would make things like geodesic domes out of a geodesic dome kit, which was just these. It's hard to tell.
See, what I really didn't like about what Phil was showing you is I thought it was way too regimented and way too way too built up.
Kind of typologies that you're looking
But
at.
you know what?
And here's a quarry. I put a quarry over on one side, and there's an entrance to the mines someplace else. But
There are a couple of things that I'm thinking about this. The first thing that I'm thinking is that it talks to me about sort of like an industrial settlement on Earth. Because this feels like something that is built there, that has all the capabilities that we have on Earth. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking that you're going to be seeking there to have something that is more modular, where the same module works for many different things.
When I create a new sound, I use different tools depending on occasion. If I start from zero, I may use this text-based software synthesizer called the C-Sound, which is good for making the so-called drones, those sounds that sit in the background underneath the score to create a mood or a tension. Otherwise, I will start from a sample and process it until I get an interesting result. To do this, I may use this other freeware software called the Sound Hack, which is very good for extreme pitch shifting and time compressing, because it doesn't distort the signal, but actually adds a nice texture to it. So here I have a hammer hitting a stone. Here I have some rocks falling. And for last, the metal impact. So this is my bullet hit concrete block.
We're 4 weeks away from the end of the 90-day demo. We've made an incredible amount of progress, I think, but we also have a lot of stuff that we have to figure out. We have a lot of things involved with, our top priorities are, the thing we're gonna have to spend the most time on are, from the art side, the character, the third-person character has to look better. The first-person weapon is almost there. It's starting to look really good. The environment, there's been a lot of progress there, but we haven't implemented any of it yet, so there's a lot of unknowns with that in terms of, just performance and how it's going to work, and, just things like how are we going to do bounding boxes and what are we going to put here and there, and there's a lot of design stuff happening in terms of the level that's a lot of really exciting things, but like I said, haven't been implemented yet, so there are unknown challenges there. Some of it's going to go smooth and some of it's going to go like that. If we're going to play with the gun position, we should do it now, because I'm about to rewrite the entire animation library.
Well, I'm almost done with the texture map, so I mean we'll be able to do that in like 10 minutes.
All right.
I mean, we also got to look at putting a light on the gun maybe, because we're already. Yeah, I mean that's like a big problem right now.
If we put a light on the gun, is the nice light effect that we're getting now during the muzzle flash, is that going to change?
What nice light effect? That looks crude as
You don't like when the gun weapon fires, how it lights up the rear sight and everything?
No, it looks ridiculous. I mean, it does. I think it does. Yeah, I think it looks totally like. I mean, whatever. It's. We keep going back and forth between how Hollywood we want to be with our shit, but like, that stuff just looks like way too ridiculous to me. I mean, it's been in there because we haven't had time to fix it. I mean, that's the only. That's been why I've assumed it was there. But you know what they say about assuming, right? I mean, do you like it, Phil?
I think well, you know what? What's going through my mind right now is yes, I like it, but maybe what I like about it would be completely replaced by lighting the weapon. I think that it should light up a little bit at least, but if we light the weapon, it might not look what you're saying is ridiculous. I think I understand what you mean when you say ridiculous.
Okay.
But maybe if we just light it, it won't look.
By ridiculous, I'll be very clear. I mean that it looks like a cartoonish. Like I can't understand why a muzzle flash at the front of the gun is lighting something that's actually obscured by something else at the back of the gun. I mean, it's sort of like, it almost looks to me like that old problem I used to have when I was designing levels, where you have the light leaking under the BSP wall.
Yeah, that is not in front of the muzzle flash. It's a separate light.
It's a totally separate light. So
yeah, we can turn that off. No problem.
Okay. But isn't it, if I understand correctly, that light is reflecting on surfaces around it, right? Because it only happens when you have walls around you.
That's why it's designed there. It's designed so it gives you the effect that the muzzle flash is
lighting up the room. Right, which is that's why I like it. I don't think it's supposed to be direct light from the muzzle flash. I think it's actually.
But you do understand what I'm talking about. I mean, if I'm holding like something like this, and the flash is going that way, it doesn't affect it.
Right, I got you. You wouldn't be backlighting it, but the point is supposed to be that the light is actually the light.
Are you updated, dude?
The light from the muzzle flash is actually, if we were in this room here, it's reflecting off me. First off, my face is probably the biggest thing that's reflecting. It's reflecting off the walls around you. That's why it changes based on what your environment is.
I understand. It's like, we've already been through this with like the Unreal Tournament stuff. I mean, we're backwards engineering a lot of stuff that's totally, literally from a different planet than what we're working on,
Basically, if a player is in the shooting pose, way too much of his upper body will be covered up by his arms, by the collision volumes of his arms. So if I was shooting at someone, even if he had body armor on, most of the bullets would catch, be caught by his hands, by his hands and his arms. So, which made armor kind of weak because only the seldom shot that actually hit him on the shoulder or something would be registered as a hit that's caught by armor.
Oh, okay.
So I updated the system now so that it would, if you are directly facing a player and you hit him in the arm, the bullet would basically pass through and hit the upper body, which is a more realistic behavior that makes armor more powerful, more useful in general. Okay, so this is our default play model without any texture on it. And this is the collision model. Basically, this is what we do hit tests against. If I shoot at some player, I'm checking: is it hitting the head, which is this capsule here? Is it hitting the upper body, one of these spheres? Is it hitting the legs and so on?
So what was the problem before? What was happening?
The problem is basically, if you look at this, the arms are too big in relation to the body. So if I would shoot at a player that's directly facing me, I would, most of the time when I'm aiming at the upper body, hit his arms. But of course, we don't have any armor on arms, so he would like take two bullets and die. Yeah, being a contractor is dangerous after all.
Sure.
Now, so what we basically want. After all. So what we wanted to do is, if you're shooting at a player from certain angles, within this area, for example. Most of the bullets would actually anyway pass through the arms and hit the upper body. Mm-hmm. So I'm just checking from which angle am I shooting at the player, and if I'm within that certain area, within that certain angle, I would just let bullets pass through arms and hit the upper body, so the armor can suck them up, basically.
Right.
And that's what we're gonna test now in the playtest, which you can test it right now. We will all line up against the wall, and you can shoot each one of us and see if the detection works correctly.
Well, if you switch to the ACOG, No. Check this out, Max.
Yeah.
And then if I switch to the other guy.
I know exactly what that was.
Oh, that was weird.
The near clipping plane.
Do it again.
The dynamic clipping plane thing that Alton is doing did not go into effect for some reason.
I have no idea why. I blew through all my ammo to reproduce it. Yeah, we've got the rate of fire up really high right now, in case that's not apparent.
It's pretty realistic.
So, what's the problem now?
It's not happening. It's not happening now. It's just a.
Do you remember what the ACOG looked like when we first put it in, and the near clipping plane was put in, so you could see right into the middle of it? You can see actually.
No, that's so perfect.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Altai remembers. For some reason, it just did that, and I can't imagine why.
Okay. You want to do the playtest?
Yeah, let's do a play test. I already got the server up and running.
Okay.
I'm getting one IFF marker working, not both of them. Oh, now they're both working. Now they're both working.
Okay, so there's some.
Hey, you should be on your side.
I also need to make an icon that says who you're following. Oh man, there's arms floating in the level again too. Damn it. God, Homer, man, you suck, dude. Okay. You missed me. You missed me. No damage. No damage. I got hit that time. No armor damage. No armor damage. That was a kill.
That's way too strong.
Okay, I'll have to go back and take another look at it.
The head marker, do you want me to display it on top of the standard form marker or replace it?
I think it should be replaced for a second. Can you do it? Can you do that instantaneously so that there's no like can you fade between them really quick over like 2 or 3 frames? Yeah, I mean, I would give it a shot so it's not distracting, but make sure it's obvious, because that's the best way to do it. Change the color a little bit will be the easiest indicator of a hit marker rather than throwing more crap on the screen.
Okay.
What's going on today, Marcus?
Lots of bug fixes, lots of new features, and the usual crap, basically.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend the first half of the day working on new features for the net play. For example, I'm going to pick the IFF system. That's the system that shows you who is a friend, who is a foe, to add a hit functionality. Basically, when you're shooting at someone and you're hitting him, you will get some feedback that you actually hit him. So we'll change the symbol a little bit and blend it in, flash it in. And also added already the reload functionality. Right until this morning, we didn't have a button to reload. Yeah, there were more pressing concerns, but I added this now. We're gonna test it later if it works properly.
I am trying to figure out why this muzzle flash is centered in the view, in the down sight view, but out here, for some reason, goes out in the middle of nowhere.
Where's it supposed to be?
It's supposed to be right at the end of the weapon. Well, here, I'll show you. It's supposed to be right there at the end of the weapon, like that. That's right. But in that position, if you fire in this position, it's off-centered over here, someplace. And I'm trying to figure out why. And I can't figure out why. So I'm very miserable and unhappy about this.
Where we're at right now is we have a functional layout of the level, and we're tuning the actual combat mechanics still, and that's probably going to go up to the last day. I mean, there's always room to improve and tune, because one of the worst things you can do is ship a product and then change the mechanics. Now we're only going to be shipping a demo, so we want it as polished as possible, as tight as possible for that. But there'll be a long time to polish even after that, because based on what we're seeing here, we spent about a month of R&D learning how to do stuff before we even really started working on the level, honestly. And the last month has been like tuning the layout of the level. It's slightly based on a level we had for Unreal Tournament 2004. We're trying to bring some cinematic elements. There's our must-have list and our nice-to-have list. And our must-have list, I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to hit everything by that first week of May. We're working really hard now. Like when we started, when we were doing the learning cycle, we were doing more normal weeks, like 40 to 50 hours, which is what all you can do, I think, when you're learning a product, because there's only so much you can learn in a day before you start to forget half of what you're learning. But now we're in the production phase, which is really where our strength lies, I think. And there's a lot of stuff we're not exploring. We've decided just and simply not to explore for our demo. Like, we're not going to get too deep into particle effects and windstorms and a lot of other things we wanted to do. But we're going to have a really solid architecture and a really unique, I think, look to what we're going to be presenting. And there are a lot of cool little features that we've got in here. We've also changed so much of what we wanted to do originally in terms of how our armor systems work, like how the offline stuff, like the career management and the merchandise pickup stuff, the purchasing, the customization of your character. We've had to simplify how some of that works in terms of making the game easy to play and easy for anyone to pick up and play. And I can even show you, like, I spent a week last week. This is an interesting lesson for people who are most people who've done web stuff probably know this, but we threw together a quick demo to see what were the links that needed to work. How did you need to get around? What kind of things would you need to do? And we just did it in hypertext really quickly over the course of like 3 or 4 days to determine which features we wanted to have. And this is actually, this is one of our bigger features in the game. And then, so from there, we went to, I'll show you the sort of the product that's currently being coded right now. So we actually, this is what like a user's page might look like on the web. We've got a very strong Flash integration with our product in general, and thanks a lot of that is to all-time past experience we've had with that, because that's raised our fidelity level in terms of typography and things that, a lot of games don't think about things like typography, but I'm a traditionally trained designer, so like for me typography is hugely important. And we were able to do a lot more with our fidelity of our type and our graphics because of that. So the demo is a big deal. I've done demos before for other things, for TV and broadcast, and if you know what you're doing and you have the goods to show that you're on your way to doing it, there's at least a 1 in 1,000 chance you could actually have it get done, you know.
If we all do it all on the client, there's the problem that time seconds is not synchronized with the server.
Maybe we slow down the speed in general, right?
I honestly, personally, I like it fast. Hey Phil, you should check out what Byung Ju's been doing. It's pretty hot.
That muzzle flash has been totally off. Now it's centered again.